Book 1. Organ House. My first book. I was living in Indonesia between 2000 and 2003. I heard a story that a Chinese-Indonesian couple had lost a child in China at some point, and I found the story to be interesting. Not knowing if this was a true story or not, I decided to believe it so I could take it to the next level. The story went as such. A couple had lost their son on the streets of some city in China. Years later, a friend spotted the child on the street and recognized the son. Long story short, the child was alive but had his tongue cut out and a scar on his side. The child was abducted and had an organ removed, and yet somehow was alive and on the street. Maybe he was to be cut up again before being killed. I do not know if the story were true, but that is how Organ House was born. The book. I picture the setting of a large manor and the story to be taking place in some Eastern European country or Britain. Either one would do. A large manor where the grounds are kept as neat and as clean as though they belonged to royalty. The idea of Harry Potter comes to mind. Where kids are eating in a large hall with uniforms in silence. Whenever visitors came, the kids would never dare to look up or look around. The idea was that outside, and in certain areas inside the manor, the place is seemingly perfect. Yet behind closed doors and in private, the kids are treated in horrible and horrific ways. While I am very proud of my first book, admittedly it is odd. It has 4 chapters. More like a movie script with a beginning, middle, and end. Hey, it was my first book, right? The title. Just as it implies, Organ House is a place where children are cataloged and kept for waiting recipients. The slogan, "No child leaves alive," is also the mission statement for the facility. The idea of organ harvesting and children seems to fit very well for a twisted mind and a horror story. Oddly enough, I am not a horror movie fan, nor am I one who has a twisted mind. Let's call it a creative process. Yes, that seems to work well. The back of the book. Sam is an ordinary 12-year-old boy, living an ordinary life until it comes to a screeching halt. Sam's immediate family dies in a terrible accident, and he is sent to an orphanage. He soon learns that in this orphanage no one ever gets adopted and no one ever leaves alive. He befriends Fred the gardener at the orphanage, learning the secrets of this strange new place. When one of Sam's friends goes missing, he decides to investigate. When further horrific events happen, Sam and his friends plot an escape. Soon Sam discovers that Fred's roots grow much deeper than being a gardener. When a couple comes to adopt a child, Sam sees that Fred suddenly changes. Within the confusion, Sam and his friends make plans to escape the hellhole they are in.